So we talked about this. We talked about the senior market. We've been through this a few times here on the radio show. We wanted to bring it back around because we know that there's a lot of senior citizens out there that are in some sort of transition, which means, they make up about 20% of our real estate market. And when we say transition, are they trying to convert the house that they're currently living in? And if they can't afford to do that, how do they use the equity in their house to be able to do those construction projects to keep their home and stay in their home in regards to their needs as a senior citizen? We also have children that are trying to make these decisions with their parents, and that has a whole special needs bucket that we have to discuss as well. And so we were just going to jump into this conversation with you, Jamie, because obviously reverse mortgages have been a hot topic throughout the years. It's been just in the last 4 years that they really have kind of conformed that product down, so it's very similar to a current FHA mortgage, correct?
That's right. That's right.
So one of the questions, that are out there is obviously, let's start off just generically. What is a reverse mortgage?
Well, it allows someone that's 62 years of age or older to have a home and not have a payment for the rest of their life. They can live there until they pass on, both whoever's on the title, and they can have zero mortgage payment for as long as they live there.
So what you're telling me is that they take out a mortgage against their home, just like a normal situation that someone would take out a mortgage, but they don't make the payments, and that's what categorizes it as a reverse mortgage.
That's correct.
So then the interest that would be accumulating every single month when you made a mortgage payment in like a typical FHA or conventional mortgage, now that interest is still accumulating. It's just accumulating at the end.
That's correct.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about how that works when somebody passes away, because obviously the bank wants their interest and their principal.
Yes, they do. Every time. Here's how it works. It's very simple. So you have the original loan amount, and then the interest will add on there over the life of the loan. Okay? There's a lien that's going to be on the property, or a mortgage rather, and that mortgage has to be paid off at the time that the estate is settled. Whatever lien or mortgage is remaining gets paid off, and the difference between that and the actual sales price goes to the family, much the same as it would in a forward mortgage situation.
Now, when you say that the equity that's left over after the lien is paid off, what happens if there is no equity? Let's just say that individual lives longer than what you possibly had estimated that person to live, and so it becomes a housing situation where the value of the house is worth less than the mortgage.
Well, that's the beauty of the program, because it is an FHA-backed mortgage. So the family or anybody else will not be on the hook if it is underwater. That's what the FHA program or the FHA insurance is for, is to cover that difference.
So credit. Does credit come into one of the circumstances of qualifying for a reverse mortgage?
That's another thing that's great about it. No credit.
Wow.
No credit qualifications.
This is Real Estate 411, and we've had many of conversations before over the last 5 years regarding loan products, reverse mortgages, and different lending situations with refinancing. But you know what? We're very excited to have Somerset Lending as a part of Real Estate 411. Right now, today, they're on staff. They're here in the house, and they were with us. We've had a lot of mortgage companies over the year. We've talked about mortgages before in regards to reverse mortgages, but you know what? It's a solid product, and we want to introduce you to Jamie and Somerset Lending. Please tune in, tune on. This is Real Estate 411 on WJR. The number to dial is 877 Annette.
Jamie, I just want to point out another thing about the reverse mortgage products. I know a lot of people that are out there listening, if it's for their mom or their dad, or if it's for them personally. When looking at an existing home, how do they figure how much they're going to qualify for against the appraisal on that home?
That's a great question. It depends on their age, primarily, and there's some LTV caps and requirements, and it's difficult to generalize that. I've heard a number of different things, such as you take the age minus 12, and that's about the LTV that you'll qualify for. But really, just like any other mortgage product, I recommend that if someone's interested in finding out about that, just call so that we can sit down and look at the specific situation and find out.
Sounds good.
I apologize. The other thing I wanted to mention too is that the money does the money have to go back into the house, or could they use that money for living expenses and things like that?
They can use it for whatever they want to use it for,
Okay.
cash out or otherwise.
Talking to a lot of our listeners in the past, I think one of the things that pops up, and I know, Paul, you probably want to chime in on this, is construction needs to be able to stay in their home. So, Paul, what are some things that they could use this money for that would possibly transition their living situation to be the same?
That is such an open-ended question, and it's so awesome because if you love having a home that can be set up for your needs, there's nothing better than having, your household like that for you for your eternity, to be able to hopefully pass on maybe in that home. I mean, I lost my father, James Compo, in 2010. He passed away in his estate with all of us around him. So, it was a very powerful experience. We did not have a reverse mortgage product on that home, but his quality of life was intact at that time at his passing because he felt very comfortable. He had been able to upgrade his home being a builder, so a little bit different scenario, but it's very, very important to have the construction needs met for the people that are staying in these homes, because wheelchair ramps and accessibility for, having access and getting around and mobility is huge. But yet entertainment systems, I mean, if they're going to have this money to spend, they may do some vacationing, but maybe they want to spend the money on the house and put in a home theater, and these are the things that we do. So it's very exciting to talk about those things. But we have a question right now from a caller, John from Clinton Township. Hello, John.
Take away 12. I'm 63, so take away 12. You end up with 50% loan to value. If you leave before you die, if you leave with and the value of the house is more than what you've got loaned, did you get that extra value? If they've only given you half and the house is worth more than that when you leave, do they return value to you?
Yes, you're going to, I would assume you're going to sell the home. That's what you're referring to, correct?
Yeah, the idea,
Yep.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely. The difference between what's owed on the mortgage and what you actually sell the home will come back to you.
Yeah.
Does that answer your
Thank you.
question?
Do you want to
Yes.
expound on that a little bit, John? Do you want to kind of share a story with us about why you asked the question?
Sounds like a good way of keeping a house up north and buying one down in Florida.
Well, tell us about your idea. Just share it with everybody, because when you share your story with us, that helps to educate everybody. So let us know what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, if you're not paying a mortgage up here, you can pay a mortgage down south and have a place to go to in the wintertime.
True story. Just as long as the reverse mortgage is on the primary residence is
Right.
is the key. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great idea.
So, John, I'm going to give you a shout. We're going to connect to see where you want to move to in Florida, because remember, here at Real Estate 411, we have an entire network of real estate agents across the United States that can help you with the purchase in Florida, as well as getting the cash out here on your primary residence.
You got my phone number.
Awesome.
All right,
Thanks,
John.
John.
Thanks for calling. Thanks for sharing.